Hey guys, it's been a little over a week. I don't mean to neglect you, I really don't. Just going through some stuff. I'm gonna get into that in a different video. I told you guys last time I was gonna do a gear video, and that's what we're gonna do. Alright, so, cool stuff. I got a box. Alright, what is this? What am I doing, guys? I have to put it together? Womp womp. Alright, let's do it. Wow, that light's pretty. That's pretty light. That's nice. I like it. Check it out. Alright, hey guys. Sorry if the audio is not crispy. This is going to be a kind of a weird video. Most of my videos are weird, but this one's probably going to be a little weirder. Let me just make sure I'm bright enough. Alright, that should be a little better. So I have here a bunch of backpacks, a light, a bunch of lights, and a dog. Usually he doesn't fit in the backpack, but you know, we try to squeeze him in there, and then we'll let him free at the event. You know, let him just go crazy. Look at him, he's nuts. This dude is nuts. Saw dude. Look at him. He thinks he's a lap dog. It's insane. All right, buddy. I want to do this video. I need to make this video. Alright, we're going to set this up into different tiers. The first tier is going to be just basic wedding or event video production. I usually have to pick and choose, you know, from the bag, but since I don't have a lot of storage space, everything kind of has to live in the bag. And it's nice just to know that everything's in there, and you can just pick it up and go. I don't have to do any other extra steps. You know, I don't have to pick off shelves and figure out what I need. There is something to like about picking stuff off shelves, but at the same time, if I have everything in my backpack, there's no second guessing, you know? Like, I probably wouldn't remove something from my backpack unless it was, like, you know, necessary to remove it. Therefore, I know everything's in my bag, and I'm good to go to travel, right? So we're gonna do everything with lenses off. Typically, you can store with lenses on in the camera. Hey, you trying to eat my cat? But we're going to take them off, and we're just going to go through them one by one. So, let's take this lens off. We're going to leave the Metabones speed booster on, though. The fact that I use EF and EFS lenses, I guess they're EF, but they're EF for full frame and EF for crop frame. So, I believe the only crop frame lens I have is actually the lens that's on the camera I'm shooting with, which is the Sigma 18-35. It's meant for a crop sensor mount. It can go on EFS mount on Canon DSLR, but it's meant for EF, right? But it's a 1.6 crop. So first of all, let's just get these cameras set up, and we're gonna put them to the side. We're basically gonna empty out this entire bag and figure out what we got. So I have a GH5 on the monopod, and this GH5 here, okay? One GH5 is out, that is the only other camera I have. The other small camera I use sometimes is this little Yi action camera. And I've been using it less and less because I'm noticing I can't really use it for professional work. So I use this mostly as like almost like the backup of backups, right? I'm not going to use this camera unless I absolutely have to. And I have had it look okay in certain wedding films and other stuff, but typically I try to stay away from this unless I absolutely need it. But we're going to keep it because it is a necessity in case I absolutely need it, right? I keep all my lenses in the main bag, and the main bag is going to carry everything, and then the secondary bag is going to contain like just a handful of items that will probably get removed when I go to use it. So let's go through these lenses. So I have an 85 mil, 50 mil, we have the 24 mil broken on. That's all I got. Just gotta have those 4 lenses right now, which is really nice because I used to have like 7 lenses or 6 lenses. No, 7 lenses, and I got rid of 3 of them. And actually, all of these lenses cover the focal range that I'm going to need, right? So let's go into audio gear. So I have this H4n. We have a microphone. We have another microphone. I also have this Olympus recorder. This is, again, another backup recorder in case the other ones fail. This is like a last resort recorder. Always have it on me. And then I have another Zoom, which is a Zoom H1. And it works really well. This is like what I use for the groom vows. I put it on the groom or the officiant in their pocket, or I'll string it to a microphone if I have to. But typically this is like for a lav mic, and I'll put it in a groom's pocket or someone's pocket, and then I'll have them have a lav mic. I'm looking to get 2 more of these. There's smaller versions of these now, and I want to get 2 more so that way I can mic up 2 more people when I shoot. But typically right now, like, this works really well. Alright, so we have a lav microphone, and that goes with the Zoom, and I'm actually going to put this in with the Zoom's case. Okay, and then we got some headphones that I have, or just some earbuds. Lens caps and stuff, we'll just put back here, and then we'll figure out a place for them. Same thing with like filters. So I always have 2 lights, small lights with me when I shoot. One of them is this, what is this? The LED 330X. I have this guy with me at all times. This is my primary on camera or even off camera light panel. So there's this. It has a charger. Oh, and we have this other light. This is like the backup light. It's a Bezcore, like a daylight light, but it has like one of these little filters on it so you can make it tungsten. It's not that terrible. Let's see if it has juice. It has juice. It lasts a long time. This light lasts a long time, and it's actually not bad as like a fill light if you need it. But I've used it as a key light when I've had to. In here we got our batteries. So, 1, 2, 3, I have 1 charging, 1 in that camera, and 1 on there. So I have 6 batteries. And also I have these batteries, these smaller batteries, for the little action camera. And then, just as an accessory, because you need it sometimes, a white balance card. The dogs are going crazy right now. Hopefully they don't knock over the camera or the light. I think I have a pair of glasses in here, because you never know if my contacts go dry, I need to switch over to glasses, I'm going to do it. So this stuff is basically going to stay in here. In the front pockets I have these little items, like little screw adapters. It's mostly like screw adapters or batteries. That's kind of the dedicated battery pocket. And then in here, so in here it's kind of weird because I do keep the neck straps in there. So the neck straps like float inside of the the laptop portion of this bag. So you never know when you need one if you're like, you know, walking around with your camera and like you have a feeling that you're not going to be using the tripod, but you need to have steadier shots. You can use the neck straps to make your shots a little steadier. So here I have a power adapter, which I'm going to get another one of those. And a plug adapter. So this is a power adapter, so if I don't want to go on battery only, I can plug this into an outlet and I can get unlimited time on the camera, obviously because it's plugged in to continuous power. So this is really helpful to have if you know you have like a long ceremony or a long reception and you don't want to change out batteries. If there's an outlet nearby, you can plug it in. If it's a stationary camera, you know, you plug it in and you just don't have to worry about it. Especially if you're a solo shooter, that's super helpful. The other thing that can be helpful is getting a battery grip. Now the battery grip will allow you to have a second battery inside of it, and that will extend your battery power by, you know, about double, right? So those are good things to have. So we got this camera. So we're gonna put this here. We're gonna put this right on the side. Okay, so now we have 2 spots for the camera. So we're going to put 1 camera in, just make sure it's good. Okay, it's good. We're going to leave that camera there. And then we're going to go on to our next item, so our lenses. So the next item, so we're going to go with our largest lens and make sure we can find a good spot for it. So what I want to do is kind of keep the necessary stuff on the edges, the stuff I need to grab real quick on the edges, because if I open the bag and I just want to throw my hand in there, I can grab and I know kind of where the stuff is. So if I know that I keep my 24 mil, you know, on the right side of the bag, right here, you know, I don't want to have to second guess that, you know. So if I put that there and I know it's there, then I want to keep it there, right? You don't want to be caught looking around for gear while you're shooting a wedding or an event, right? That's like, it's really hard to come back, you know. If you're going to miss something, you're just going to miss it because you don't have your gear set up. So first of all, make sure you're set up beforehand, but if you absolutely have to go back and grab something, make sure you have your bag organized to where you know where your stuff is. Pocket up front for the little nifty 50 I bought recently. So we got our nifty 50, we got our GH5, our 24, and our 85. So what I typically like to do is take the H4n, put it into a spot with its brother. This is going to be the zoom. And those can live at the bottom pocket there. And then we're also going to take this bad boy and throw it in there too. We're just going to kind of let those live in there. I know you can't see this super well. Let me tip it up. So you can kind of see I have the 50 here, the camera here, 24 here, the 85 here. The audio equipment's going to live down here, and then I'm going to put the microphones in this pocket. The batteries and stuff we're going to put in the front pocket. We're not going to worry about that right now. What we are going to do is find a spot for the lights. So we have the smaller light, the smaller Bez core. I think this middle pocket here is fine. I think we put all the lights kind of down the middle, which would work well. So there's that. Alright, so now we have this bigger light. So there's a slot right here at the top, which I'm going to use. And I need to go diagonal, because what I like to do is take its battery and its charger and put it behind it. So sometimes you gotta like go back and reevaluate, because if I don't have that camera in here, I need to make sure I can fit that lens in here too. So that's why it's super important to make sure you have a super organized gear bag, because you don't want to be struggling for spots, you know. The other thing you could do is you could get something like this, which is the Pelican case, and you can actually custom cut it for your gear. It's just really heavy and obnoxious. You can get one with wheels. This one does not, but again, like if you just want to be able to have a backpack and run and go, like this is really helpful. And this is one of the bigger run and gun backpacks. So changing it up a little bit, we're going to take this Yi action camera and we're going to throw this bad boy into one of these pockets here. And then we're going to take these lens tops and we're going to put them in this front pocket here. So this is where like the lens caps will live in here. And even these bad boys, all the tripod plates are going to live in here as well. This is an ND filter. So this ND filter, variable ND filter, I'm going to let this guy live in here as well. I'm actually going to put it in with the GoPro, right next to the GoPro, and that works pretty well. So that's pretty good. It looks pretty neat. That's nice. All right, so let's get a close-up look at that. So you can kind of see. So here we got the camera would go here. Camera in that pocket. Got a couple lenses here. Got the nifty 50 in there. Got the ND filter here with the little GoPro or the Yi action camera. Got our lighting in the middle there, at the top with a couple batteries in there. Got our audio equipment in here, so our 2 microphones and some cables, and then our recorders in the back over here. So the camera I'm using right now, it's going to live in this pocket, living kind of like that guy is, and then we're going to put the lens in this pocket, which I'm going to kind of change this up a little, but you'll be able to see that it all fits in there very nicely, and that's the basics for a wedding. So if I need to shoot a wedding, this is everything I need. Batteries live in this pocket. Okay, little adapter in here. Got like headphones and stuff in there. Backpack mode's okay. It is a big backpack, but it has some pretty good little straps to support your lower back, so that's cool. All right, let's go to the other stuff. Okay, so I have this backpack set up. Now we're going to talk about tripods and light stands. So usually what I'll do is I'll take this tripod, leave it in this bag. So this is actually a big light stand bag from Manfrotto. So basically, like, you could fit 3 tripods in here, or 2 or 3 monopods in here. So what I do is I put my tripod in this bag. alongside that monopod, which I'm using right now, fits in here, and then also a light stand or a microphone stand. The microphone stand I can use two ways. I can use it as a microphone stand. I can use it actually as like a hair light or something similar, or just straight up and down, and it can be a stand to hold my LED light. Let's go into this bag. So this bag is icky. So anytime I'm traveling and I need to go travel really light and I can't take all that stuff, maybe I'm only going to take one camera body, I'll use this backpack. The only thing that stinks is I don't really have a place to put all the stuff I leave in here. So let me go through the stuff that I have in here. So first of all, I have a cage, which for weddings I don't usually use. I use this for different productions, something like with a little bit more setup time. When I'm running gunning, this would be nice, you know, for a wedding, but it's just, there's too much going on, you know, fumbling with this, it doesn't really make sense. Plus it's just extra stuff I have to carry, and I don't really need it. So what I do is I try to minimize everything I need on a wedding day. That is, unless I know I have a second or a third shooter, then I might play with something like this to make sure I get, you know, all my accessories on here, better running gun setup. But typically I'm on the monopod all day, and it has the camera itself has such good image stabilization that I don't need anything but my monopod handheld and then like a tripod with my slider on it. So that's what I typically do, especially when I'm doing a wedding solo or if it's myself and an assistant. I have a side grip, okay, that goes with that. Lens pouches, which I rarely use, so I just kind of leave them in there. Alright, now I'm getting into odds and ends. So like what I need to do is start like clearing out the odds and ends. So this is stuff for that Yi action camera. I typically don't use this stuff, like the suction cup or like some of these, you know, pieces here. They actually might be good if I put them in my bag, my main bag, but I noticed that I probably used them one time the entire time in shooting, except for this bad boy. I will use this, like if I'm shooting stuff for my documentary, I'll put this on the car window while they're driving around, just as like filler shot. So, just random stuff, like power adapter for the car. We got more of these USB 3.0 plugs, a little HDMI cable for like a monitor. This stuff I just kind of threw it in here, but we're gonna have to find a home for it. Like I said, if I'm traveling, I need to travel light, I will empty this bag out, I will put everything like in a box like this box here, and I'll leave it to the side, and I'll only grab the stuff that I absolutely need. Otherwise, what I'll do is if I need stuff from this box, I will actually put it in carry-on, like traveling, and put it into this big one, this big bad boy. I only decide what I take in this backpack when I know when I need to travel light. So that's why this backpack stores a lot of like odds and ends and stuff. Okay, let me show you this one real quick. This is a camera light. I also take this with me when I do weddings. This is the Genere, I think it's called the Contender, and it's a bi-color light, so meaning it goes from, what is it? I think it goes from 3200 up to 5600. So that's 3200 Kelvin up to 5600 Kelvin. So basically, tungsten light, you know, indoor tungsten light, yellow light, or orange light, whatever you want to call it, all the way up to that bright blue, white light, you know, the 5600 daylight color, like the sun, right? And it's really good. It has batteries that last forever. I just set it up on a light stand at a ceremony. I mean, well, it could be at a ceremony, but at a reception. And then I use this as the key light, or I'll light this from the side to give like a dramatic effect, you know, to whoever is doing a speech or whatever, like a first dance or something like that. You can really do some cool stuff with this. You can even backlight with this, and it's dimmable, so like you don't have to have it on full blast all the time. You can just use it as like a little effect light. So I'll have this with me. I'll have the backpack, the tripod bag, and then I'll also bring this guy, which is a tripod slider, and I'll get into that in a minute. And by the way, this is the upstairs landing area. I'm kind of turning it into a little studio area, so that way I can do headshots and I can do interviews and things like that here. So the other lights here that also have soft boxes, they're LED panels. I think they're like 12 inches by 12 inches. So they're these guys. There's two of them. They take batteries as well, but I actually do not own any batteries for them. Eventually I will grab some batteries. They're not that expensive and the chargers aren't that bad, but there's a little adapter on the back of them you can put the batteries on. and they'll last a while. These are great for like fill lights or even your key light. These are great all around, so these are awesome to have. But I also have this thing for extra diffusion and a little bit to give it a little bit of a softer look. This is like a pop-out softbox, which is what I'm used to. Something that's a little easier to maintain and put together. So that's this, and this works pretty well on those lights too. Okay, and this kit will kind of live until I need it. I'll set it up mostly at the studio, but I can take this around. So there's some lights here. You don't want to just constantly shoot with natural light. I mean, you can do that, and it's fine, but you know, it's good to know how to light scenes, right? Let's go to this slider. Let's see what this slider is. Just so I can show you. So this is like a knockoff of the Edelkrone. So basically like this, it sits on top of the tripod. And then when I unlock it, which is here, it'll slide much further either direction. So you see that? See how it's sliding pretty far in either direction? I forget what the how long it is. It might be like 26 inches. I think this thing is 13 inches, and then it slides 26 inches. So that's plenty for a wedding. Like just doing some reveal shots. You know, this thing's awesome. It's very smooth. It was pretty inexpensive. It has a little level on it, so like you know where you're at. The only thing that's annoying is that when you lock it, it still has a bit of slack. So it's hard to like make sure you're pulling the slack enough so that way it's not moving around. But no matter what, you're going to get that effect where it's like kind of moving a little bit. So we put this on top of the tripod. You just have to be careful when you're sitting there and manning that camera that you're not jerking it back and forth, just because you don't want that in your footage. Okay. Oh, and then I got this bad boy. You've seen this before. This is that new reflector. So like if I need a fill light, actually, you want to see what that looks like? So if I put this here, right? Can you kind of see what that's doing to my face? If I put it down, a little darker, a little lighter. So like what we'll do is we'll put this up and we'll clip it up and you can kind of get a little bit of fill on the other side of someone's face. This is actually a massager that my brother got me and I haven't used it in a while and I should. It's to break down tissue, you know, mostly for your legs and thighs and stuff. That doesn't go with me anywhere. This is just in there for some reason. Okay, so you can see some of this stuff is dusty. It's because I've been working for a federal contractor and I really haven't done my own work, my own projects. I expect that I'll be using a lot of this stuff more often because I'll have more time to do my own thing. So in here we have a matte box. So it's a matte box. These are the wings for the matte box. I think I have a picture. Let's see if I can find the picture. I'll put it up here if I can find it with this thing set up. But this thing's cool. It's very easy to use. You set it up on your rails and it becomes a nice matte box for changing out filters like that ND filter I was talking about. This thing replaces that. So in here's the Mavic Air. It's good to fly and it's a great little drone. It doesn't have like amazing image quality, but it has decent and it's pretty good, especially if you set it to a flat profile. I can get this to match my GH5 pretty closely, so this is good to have. It's an awesome little tool. The only thing that stinks about having a drone is you can't fly it within like 5 miles of an airport. So where I live, there's an airport like really close. So there's only a handful of spots I can fly within the city, but outside the city, I can fly anywhere. So if I'm in like Pahrump or like, you know, up north somewhere, I can fly a drone. Red Rock, I can fly the drone. So that's really cool to have. So yeah, aerial shots are awesome. I feel like they're being overused lately, but it's definitely a cool tool to have. Yeah, so in this box I have a bunch of random stuff, like more exercise equipment. That's like, this is a lacrosse ball to So yeah, I used to do contact juggling. I have such ADD, like it's unbelievable. My ADD is ridiculous right now. Anyway, so I used to do contact juggling. Not with this ball, I used to use like an acrylic ball that was quite a bit bigger. But this thing's good for actually digging into your muscles. So if you have like a muscle cramp or something, you can actually use this, lay on the floor and get into like your glutes or your thighs or your back, anywhere. Works really well. It was in this bucket for some reason. I have a spot for this. We're gonna put it in there. Oh, there's like a close-up filter kit, so I could do, yeah, so I got this stuff for free with like a lens or something, like a package, and I never used it, but I kept it. But they're these like cheap little kits that have like little magnifying adapters, you know, for certain lenses. And I don't even know if I have a lens that works with these, but I've just kept them. So I assume every one of you videographers or photographers out there have stuff like this, just kind of lying around. So it's kind of weird, but I got to figure out what to do with it. So I use this thing right here as like my catch-all. All right, so there's that. There's a little odds and ends in here, but those aren't important. We'll leave that in there. And then I have this. This is really dusty. This is my Old Faithful like action grip. Basically, put your camera on here. You can go real low, or like you can hold it really close to your chest and shoot like this really well with it. This thing actually still works well, and I would put this in with my like my carry-on bag, because this I probably would use over the cage because it's so easy to use. It's so easy to throw the camera on there and just run with it. And you actually do get slightly better footage with it because of like the different grip angles. And it's very comfortable to use. So it's like 20 bucks, and it's probably just as good, if not maybe a little better than the cage. I mean, different uses, right? But this is really nice. So anyway, yeah, there's that. In here, I have like a shoulder rig set up for the GH5 and a cage. So like the cage I have in here, basically it's this bad boy. It's not my favorite. I probably will upgrade to a small rig eventually, but if I need this, I use it. Especially if I need to shoot outside and I need the matte box. So I'll have this on with my rails, and then I can also turn it into a shoulder rig. You can hear the shower probably, but don't worry about it. You turn into a shoulder rig, and I have a photo of that, and I'll show you what that looks like, but I have all of that in here, my cages. So it looks like there's room for like, for some bits, so there's room for that, there's room for this, there's room for my focus puller here, put that in here like that. So there's a handle here. If I put the handle up into this piece, this pocket here. So I'm kind of doubling up pockets, which is fine, you know, it just needs to be pretty snug. And then I have my cage, which I'm not sure I'm going to be able to fit the cage in here. That's the only problem. So this rig right here, I know I'm going to use this if it's going to be something I'm shooting all day. If I'm shooting all day and I have set shots, I will set up this rig with the matte box, follow focus, and all that good stuff, because I know if I'm going to be shooting all day on like a serious production, like a short film or something, and we have time to, you know, set a rig up and make it really nice and professional, I'll use this. This one, that is. The smaller one, the one I just started putting in here, I'll use as like more of a running gun if I know that I'm just going to be kind of running around all day handheld, don't really have a whole lot of time to throw on a monopod or anything, or on a tripod. I'll just set this bad boy up, yeah, and I'll show you a picture of that one too. So usually I use this bin. I mean, since I don't have a lot of room here for storage, I kind of put a lot of stuff that I'm not using immediately inside of this bin. So the things that don't go in the bin are like the main backpack, the tripod bag, and a handful of the light bags. If I had to, I just take this entire bin and throw it in my car, and then I'll just go with it. So like, depending on what I'm doing, obviously. So that's basically it, and I think we're reorganized now. I just need to make sure I put this like into my closet the right way, and I need to make sure I put everything back the way it was, or else it's not going to work, right? What's the point of being organized if you can't put stuff back, right? So there's that. So we did it. We organized the gear. We got it going. I need to figure out what to do with this light when I need to transport it, but for now, I guess it'll just live in this room. So. Okay, so that was the vlog, guys. I don't know how this audio sounds because I just plugged in that microphone setup I showed you. Should be fine. Should be good. It's a cheap microphone, but I use it for like Twitch and stuff like that, and I'm gonna start streaming again and maybe do a podcast eventually, so that would be pretty cool. Yeah, so that was the gear setup video. Now you guys kind of see what I have to work with. There's a handful of things I'm missing, you might notice, like why don't I have a gimbal, you know? Why don't I have
I think it's just a gimbal or like a, you know, some sort of Steadicam. The reason is because I've never really needed one. I had one before, I sold it. I hadn't used it that much, so I might get another one depending on the work I'm doing. Yeah, so anyway, a couple updates. So I haven't talked to you guys in like, I don't know, a week. Got the website up and running. Go check it out at www.lovemade.com. That's LUVMADE.com. Let me know what you guys think of the website. I tried setting it up the best I could. I actually used Squarespace, not sponsored by Squarespace, but they seem to sponsor everyone. So Squarespace, hit me up. Created the website on there. I think it looks pretty good. Let me know what you think. Let me know if it needs like a change or something, or if you think it could use something different. I'm always open to constructive criticism and, you know, feedback. So, yeah, let me know. The other thing, too, so I had a meeting with a venue in Las Vegas on the Strip. I don't want to say the venue's name, but it went pretty well. It was pretty brief, but I think we're going to be doing some work with that venue as one of their preferred or primary vendors. So we'll be doing a lot of photo, video work for that venue, which will be a lot of like corporate events, parties, and weddings. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I'll be back when I come back. And stay tuned because I might be doing like another workout or fitness related video. So if you guys are waiting for that, it's probably going to come sooner rather than later. So, all right, guys, I'll catch you next time. I don't know what that was, but...